Welcome, welcome to another incredible day and an I Inspire morning call where our mission is to empower millions of people to live a life that they love and enjoy and where you can be a speaker too. My name is Yali. I'm a coach and entrepreneur and I'm founder of I Inspire. I'm also your host here on the I Inspire morning call. We've got two calls every day, 7 a.m. Eastern Time and 7 a.m. Pacific Time. You're always welcome to call in 10 minutes before the call if you want a priming exercise or a meditation. We follow that up at 7 a.m. by beginning the call with some powerful stretches. And right after, we have a speaker every day that really is there to empower your day and make it even more awesome. But stay with us because right afterwards, we open the call up for a live discussion, allowing you guys to share your takeaways, engage with the speaker, ask questions, and all that good stuff. For more information, you can hop onto our I Inspire Morning Call Facebook group. How do you do that? Just search for I Inspire. It's one word, I Inspire Morning Calls on Facebook. That's our private Facebook group. All right, so today's special guest speaker is the one and only Hal Elrod, and he is here with the Miracle Morning Talk. Our speaker is the #1 best-selling author of what is being widely regarded as one of the most life-changing books ever written. It's titled The Miracle Morning, the not-so-obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m. What's more incredible is that Hal actually died at the age of 20. He was hit right on by a truck driver at 70 miles per hour. He broke 11 bones, died for 6 minutes, suffered permanent brain damage, and was told he would never walk again. Not only did Hal walk, he actually ran a 52-mile ultra marathon. He became a Hall of Fame business achiever, an international keynote speaker, a hip-hop recording artist. I think we're going to have to ask him about that one. And he's been featured in the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series. He writes for entrepreneur.com, hosts the Achieve Your Goals podcast, and the list just goes on and on. He is excited to be on I Inspire because it's rare to find a group of people who are willing to invest time, money, and attention into improving themselves, and he's committed to sharing his knowledge to help you do exactly that. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't be more excited to present him, so let's give it up for the one and only Hal Elrod! You know what, you guys? Let's give him a double round of applause. How about that? Double round of applause, you guys, for the one and only
Hal.
Good morning,
Yali,
Hal.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can I just say that was amazing, and I need more Yali in my life. Like, I'm so blown away by what has already transpired on the I Inspire call. Wow, like incredible. So I'm yeah. In fact, I mean, you know, I'm the Miracle Morning guy, but I think this is like Miracle Morning, 2.0 possibly. Yali, you and I need to talk about yeah, I don't know. I'm fired up. I'm inspired myself, and this is really, really cool.
And by the way, I just want to credit back your excitement for the call to everyone here in this community who helped make this possible and created this alongside with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about co-creation, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, well, I Inspire community, thank you for being here this morning and being engaged in a community, a group of people that is fully, up early, fully engaged, fully committed, and you're my people in that way for sure. When it comes to the Miracle Morning, I'm gonna give you a quick, kind of a quick backstory to create some context around where this is all coming from. And Yali mentioned that when I was 20 years old, I was hit head on by a drunk driver. Died for 6 minutes, broke 11 bones, and I'm 36 years old now. So that was about 16 years ago. And that was my first, I'd call it a rock bottom. If, we can all relate to a rock bottom. Like, we've all had those times in our lives where we experience a moment of adversity that challenges us and tests us and, maybe even causes us to question who we are or what we're capable of. And we've all had rock bottoms, and I think that we have them throughout our lives, right? They're all in that definition of a rock bottom where we go through these periods of adversity and, as life throws us adversity, it tends to continue to throw us new levels of adversity. And it's not a bad thing. See, that's the big shift in our thinking, is that adversity is an advantage, because so often, right, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you what? Exactly, stronger. It doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And so the more adversity we experience, the stronger we become. So I want you to think about a time in your life. Think about a rock bottom. Think about that time that was challenging for you, but it built you. It helped you grow. And on the other side of that adversity was a version of yourself that was better than you had ever been before. And maybe you didn't even know that person existed when you encountered the adversity, but you came out the other side better. So for me, the car accident was that first experience. And my second rock bottom, or at least a very significant one, came actually after the car accident, about 8 years ago. And it was much more difficult than the car accident. And whenever I share that, people go, well, but dude, you died. Like, well, what's more difficult than dying? Like, what's worse than that? What's more challenging than that? And it was actually the U.S. economic crash. And many of you can probably relate to that. I'm sure you were around at that time. But right around 2008, when the U.S. economy crashed, I lost my house, and I got depressed, and I lost my business, and everything kind of went downhill. And after about 6 months of trying everything I knew how to do to improve my situation and improve my life, and nothing was working. I was just, I was sinking. It was like quicksand. Like, the more I fought to get out of it, the deeper I sunk. And, I sunk financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was at the lowest point in my life. And finally, after 6 months, I started looking for, what do the world's most successful people do every day that I don't do? And I came across different answers to that question. But the one thing that kept showing up was early rising, morning rituals, morning routines. And I was not a morning person. I didn't consider myself a morning person at that time. So for me, I'm going, yeah, okay, what else do they do? Like, I got it. I know that a lot of them wake up early, but what else do they do? And because I didn't want to do it, I thought I don't, I liked it, the snooze button. I don't like to wake up early. And finally, I couldn't deny it. I couldn't ignore it anymore. And I went, you know what? I'm going to wake up tomorrow an hour earlier, and I'm going to try this whole morning ritual thing. But then the question became, what am I going to do during that hour? Well, if I wake up an hour earlier, what am I going to do? I could do anything. So then I started searching and Googling, what do the world's most successful people do for their personal development? And this quote inspired the search. The quote from Jim Rohn that inspired me to figure out, what do the world's most successful people do, not just around early rising. Yeah, they wake up earlier, but what do they do for personal development? How do they become the best version of themselves so they can create the most extraordinary life that they have? These successful people that have the life that we all want, at least in some way, that how can I do what they do? And I was looking for the one personal development practice that would make the biggest impact. And I couldn't narrow it down to one. As I'm searching, I'm making a list. I've got a notepad out, and I come across meditation. And as probably all of you know, the value of meditation. At that time, I didn't know anything about it. But I'm reading, article after article about how meditation is just a game changer. And some of the world's most successful people swore by it. So I got to meditate, I guess. And I'm going through, and then I come across this video from Will Smith talking to Ellen DeGeneres about the power of affirmations. He said that self-affirmations are the reason, the number one reason he was able to become one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. So I'm going, okay, well, I got to do affirmations. And then I'm coming across the power of visualization. And, I had seen the movie The Secret years before, and I'd made a vision board, and nothing in my life really changed when I made a vision board. It just was a fun craft activity to do. So I made the vision board, and but I'm reading more in visualization, and I'm reading it from a scientific perspective on how some of the world's top athletes did visualization, and how that affected their physiology and how they performed at their best, and on and on. And so I'm going, okay, so visualization, maybe I need to do that. I'm realizing that morning exercise, there's big benefits to morning exercise. I go to the gym in the afternoon at that time, but getting your heart rate up, getting the blood flowing to your brain and the oxygen that goes with that, that was crucial to really performing at your best throughout the day. So I'm going, okay, I'm writing exercise down, and then I'm writing the importance of reading in the morning so that you gain knowledge that you can apply throughout the day to improve your personal or professional circumstances and results. And then I finally come across journaling, and I call this scribing, but journaling, the power of articulating your thoughts and your dreams and your goals and your commitments and your gratitude in writing and formalizing it, creating a record of it that you can carry with you forever. So I have these 6 practices that I write down, and I'm trying to figure out which is the best one. And finally, I have the breakthrough. It hits me. I go, wait a minute. None of these seems to be more compelling than the others. They're all equally as, each one can be a game changer. And you'd be hard pressed if you study any of the world's most successful, fulfilled, people, you would be hard pressed to find one that didn't swear by at least one of these 6 practices. So the breakthrough was this. I went, wait a minute. What if I did all of these? Like, instead of picking one, what if I did all of them? What if I woke up tomorrow and I did the 6 most timeless, proven, powerful personal development practices known to man that the world's most successful people had been doing for centuries, right? Forever. And so I woke up the next morning and I got up at 5 a.m., which, at that time in my life was, you only got up at 5 a.m. if you had an early flight to catch or something. But I woke up at 5 a.m. and I thought, this is going to be, this is kind of an experiment, but I had this intuitive feeling that this could be the one thing that changes everything. If I start every day doing the 6 most powerful personal development practices known to man, like, how could I not develop myself into the person that I need to be to achieve, create, attract, and sustain anything that I wanted for my life? And at that time, remember, I was depressed. My body fat had increased by 300% in the last 6 months before that. I was just, I went from being debt free to having a $52,000 personal credit card balance. My house was being taken away, right? So I was a mess. But I woke up that morning feeling, for the first time in 6 months, really feeling hopeful. And at the end of that hour, I will tell you, I was the worst meditator. My affirmation, I was terrible at all 6 of the practices. Right? I wasn't, I wasn't an expert at any of them. But at that moment, that moment of 6 a.m. when my alarm kind of went off, that the hour was done. I had done my first ever, what is now known as the Miracle Morning, by the way. Keep in mind, at that time, that was just day one of one. Like, there was no vision. There was no this would be a book. There was no name called the Miracle Morning. And let me fast forward and kind of wrap the story up with the results. And that is that in less than 2 months of doing this morning ritual it's now known as the Miracle Morning, these 6 practices, which, by the way, are known as the savers. If you have a pen and you're taking notes, you can jot down, this is the acronym that these 6 practices fit into, and that is only because my brilliant, beautiful wife gave me the idea. I was writing the book one day and I go, sweetheart, I was like, God, I'm so frustrated. Like, I've got these 6 practices, but there's no way to organize them into something, that makes sense, that's memorable. And, like Robert Kiyosaki has the cash flow quadrant, and Stephen Covey has the 7 habits of highly effective people. And I go, these 6 practices are just all kind of random. And she goes, why don't you get a thesaurus, and why don't you see if you could, find words that are related to the other words and see if you can make an acronym. And so meditation became silence and journaling became scribing for the acronym SAVERS, SAVERS, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And after 2 months of doing this Miracle Morning every day, the results were incredible. I had more than doubled my income. And I didn't do that, by the way. I didn't get another job or start another stream of income or get a promotion. It was simply doing the exact thing that I was already doing, which, by the way, I was a coach. That was my main source of income, was I did success coaching and life coaching. And I just continued doing success coaching and life coaching. But by doing these 6 practices, the savers in the morning, the confidence, that I gained, the clarity that I gained, all of these practices gave me, again, enabled me to become the person that I needed to be to achieve and grow my business, right? I was able to simply read books that taught me how to grow my coaching members, and I more than doubled my clients in 2 months, so I doubled my income. I went from being in the worst shape of my life physically, having not exercised for a minute in 6 months, to committing to run a 52-mile ultra marathon. And I had never run a mile before that, except for in high school PE. I hated running, so that was why I committed to it. And my depression went away, not in 2 months. My depression was almost completely gone within a matter of days, because I felt so inspired, right? Waking up every day, as you all know, being part of the iinspire community, waking up every day, dedicating time to my personal development so that I could become the person that I needed to be, was the game changer for me. And I started calling it my miracle morning, because it felt like a miracle how it had transformed my life. And so those are the 6 practices of the miracle morning. And now, I mean, just a quick 30-second kind of synopsis on where we are today. There are now hundreds of thousands of people around the world that, have read the book and that do the miracle morning every day, from 40 plus countries. It's anywhere between 40 and 70 countries. I'm not sure. I just got back from France doing like a book tour out there. It was kind of crazy. But so the miracle morning, if you're already a morning person, right, which is the first step. Now, actually, let me give a quick few tips on if you're not a morning person. I find that hard to believe, because you're on this call, but maybe you're in part of the world where it's not morning for you. I don't know. But a couple of tips, or if you have a friend or a family member that you've like encouraged to wake up early and do something positive, and they're like, they just hit the snooze button, they can't beat the alarm. Here's a few tips for you. Number one, have them or you move the alarm clock across the room. That's one of the biggest game changers in getting up and beating the alarm clock, is that it's not on your bedside table within arm's reach. Because if it is, then when the alarm goes off in the morning, you can reach over and turn it off with, very easily. And you can do it while you're still half asleep. And we've all been there before, where, you sleep through the alarm, or you turn it off and you don't even realize it, and then all of a sudden you've lost the morning, you've missed the morning. So first step is you move the alarm clock across the room, and you move it as far away as you can to be able to hear it. And ideally on the way to the bathroom, because that's step 2, is that you go directly from the alarm clock to the bathroom, right, to brush your teeth, wash your face, and allow yourself to, your body simply starts to wake up and acclimate to the day every minute that you are upright. And so starting the day upright can be the first step in making it a game changer. And then most importantly, it actually is step 0, if you will, because it's the step you do the night before, is visualizing and committing to those first few minutes of the day. So it's a simple decision where before you go to bed, you decide, okay, the alarm clock's across the room, and you decide, no matter how I feel in the morning, I'm committed to obviously getting up to turn it off, but then I'm committed to not going back to bed, but rather see yourself simply walking from the alarm clock to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, washing your face, maybe jumping in the shower, right? And it may sound elementary, but it's those simple things that make the biggest difference, right? Those simple things that make the biggest difference. Yali, is there anything that you wanted me to cover before I wrap up that I missed?
The one thing I did already reveal yesterday, in case people weren't on my call yesterday, was about this incredible opportunity to join our challenge that launches June 1st. That was my first kind of announcement yesterday. We're doing a challenge, a community challenge together. We're all going to hop on and put ourselves in a total immersion environment and challenge ourselves to really apply these tools. And what we're going to do is we're going to partner up together and do the Miracle Morning Challenge here on iinspire, the iinspire Miracle Morning Challenge. So that's the big reveal I had yesterday. That was the announcement. And maybe you want to tell them a little bit about your excitement for this.
Yeah. Yali, I'm glad you reminded me of this, because there's something I want to teach right now that might be the most valuable part of the call and really will lead into the challenge in a powerful way. So I am a big believer in 30-day challenges. I have done a lot of studying and research on how to change habits, and I've done it for myself, but also as a coach for the last 10 plus years. I've done it for my clients so that I can really serve them and understand the psychology of what does it take to change a habit in our lives. And most of us are terrible at it, right? Like if you think about think about New Year's resolution. Like a New Year's resolution, all that really is a decision or a commitment or an intention, I should say, to change a habit. Think about it. New Year's resolution is to start exercising 5 days a week or start going to the gym 5 days a week. Well, all that is saying is I now want to implement a new habit of going to the gym 5 days a week, right? But if you've ever gone to the gym the first week in January, you can't get a parking spot because all the New Year's resolution people are there. But if you go back to the gym like week 2 or 3, it's just as empty as it was in December because nobody sticks with their New Year's resolutions, right? Or very few people do. So for me, one of my areas of mastery that I've studied is this: how do you change a habit? And there are different takes on it in terms of how long it takes. Recently, the book The One Thing said it takes 66 days, and they based it on some different Harvard studies, 66 days to change a habit. The most popular habit time frame is 21 days. You've probably heard that before. That's been perpetuated for decades, and I believe it was originated in Maxwell Maltz's book Psycho-Cybernetics, and again, based on one study. So everything that I've studied, I've found the most effective way to change a habit, change any area of your life, whether it's your health and fitness, or it's your finances, or it's your relationships, or your happiness. 30 days is the most effective time frame. Now, here's the deal. You can't just go, okay, I'm going to do something for 30 days. That's not enough to understand, well, what could prevent you? Why might you throw in the towel on day 5 like most people do? Why might you not make it to the end of the 30-day challenge? Or what if you go through the 30-day challenge, but what might prevent you from making it a lifelong habit? So if you don't understand all of that, then A, we won't succeed with a 30-day challenge, or B, we won't stick with it after 30 days are over. So I'm going to teach you real quick what I found to be the most effective strategy for successfully changing any habit in your life or implementing any new habit. So getting rid of a bad habit or implementing a new habit, and you can take this strategy into the 30-day challenge that Yali is offering everybody. So here's the way to look at this, and it's worth taking notes. There are 3 10-day phases anytime you take on a 30-day challenge. The first 10 days, days 1 through 10, are what I call the unbearable phase. I'll explain what this means in a second. Days 11 through 20 are what I call the uncomfortable phase, and days 21 through 30 are what I call the unstoppable phase. So unbearable, uncomfortable, unstoppable. Days 1 through 10 feel unbearable. We've all been there before, right? If you're trying to change a habit, you're going, no, I don't want to get up earlier. Like when I was training for that marathon, I was like, oh my gosh, I hate running. Everything in my body hurts. So the first 10 days of a new habit is where your body is resisting it physically, mentally, emotionally, in every way. We tend to defy the new habit. We don't like it. We hate it. But if you know that those 10 days are a phase, they're temporary. So no one teaches us that. So on day 5, when you're like, oh my God, it still isn't getting any easier, and I guess I'm not meant to be a runner. I'm not meant to be an early riser. I guess I'm meant to continue drinking soda or whatever it is. We don't understand that it's going to get easier. Because here's the question: is if you know that, okay, that you go in knowing the first 10 days might feel unbearable when I'm trying to really change a habit. It might be uncomfortable. It might be difficult. Then okay, I can make it through 10 days because I know it's going to be challenging, but I can make it all the way through because I'm committed, right? If something's going to change your life forever, can you go through 10 days of it being difficult? Of course. The second 10 days is uncomfortable, where you no longer hate it, but it's not yet part of you. You're not yet acclimated to it. And then the final 10 days, where I call the unstoppable phase, is where somewhere in that 10-day period, it might be right around the 20th, 21st, 22nd day. It might be closer to the end around the 28th, 29th day. But during that period, you begin to identify with that habit as part of who you are. It's no longer difficult. For me, when I was training for my marathon, it was on day like 23 that I woke up, and without thinking about it, I laced up my running shoes, and I had this pep in my step, and I was excited, and I ran out the front door, and all of a sudden I stopped, and I went, wait a minute. Am I looking forward to running right now? Whoa, this is weird. And from that day on, it was never a challenge anymore, because I call it the unstoppable phase. Because is it hard to do something that you actually enjoy doing, you're looking forward to? And the answer is, of course not, right? That's why you become unstoppable. And when you go into a 30-day challenge, with that frame of mind, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be unbearable every day. It can be exciting from the beginning. I mean, but understanding that physically, mentally, and emotionally, there's these different phases that our body tends to go through on the way from unbearable, the thought of changing a habit, something we've done one way for so long and doing it differently, to unstoppable, where we can literally have, be, do, accomplish anything in our lives. And that's what I want for you during these next 30 days with Yali. And Yali, I'll turn it back over to you.
That's incredible, Hal. And I just wanted to say that I'm just so moved and touched by all of this. You know, one of the things that I love about the Miracle Morning is that a morning ritual changed my life. And the reason I love the Miracle Morning is you just mash together all these incredible different morning rituals so that this one could be really, truly powerful. And I especially love all the points you just gave about the challenge. So you guys, if a challenge excites you, if it excites you to take on 30 days where you implement the most powerful morning ritual of your lives and really make sure that it's one that empowers you towards what you want to achieve in your life and who you want to be, the reason I'm doing the Miracle Morning Challenge here is I want to add a sense of accountability to this whole process. So we're going to be following the tools that Hal Elrod already created, but we're going to create it for ourselves on this challenge together, challenging each other, but also keeping each other accountable with accountability buddies, with a taste of what mastermind groups are like, and with other things like live calls we're going to do, 2 of which Hal's going to join us for, and all that great stuff. You're going to get the information. Hal, is that a wrap from you?
Yes, thank you so much.
Let's give it up for the one and only Hal Elrod! That was amazing, but you know what? Let's double it up in here. Give him a double round of applause. It's Hal Elrod.
Yeah, baby.
You guys are so awesome.
Wow, I receive it all. You guys are awesome.
Woo! Hey, everybody. My name's Christy. I inspire. I am having all these tears of emotion, and I want to say, besides being a badass person, this is like the 18th time the morning miracle has been told to me, and I just never did it. And now I'm listening to my second I Inspire call of the day, and it's the freaking author of the freaking process on the phone. So I am doing the challenge. I'm going to rock it out. I'm just so thankful and blessed that you're here. And shit, man, I mean, the universe delivered you. I mean, it's the 18th time I've heard about this. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Woo!
You know what they say, 18th time is a charm. That's what they say, 18th time is a charm.
I love it so much, Christy. Thank you. You rock. And yeah, this is the universe speaking for sure, or screaming right in your face. Let's give it up for Christy Watkins. All right. Who else wants to share here this morning?
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I inspire.
All right, we got Jackie, Sarah, and there was one more person. I want to give you all a chance. Who wants to start? Just step up.
Go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead. So I just wanted to say, okay, so my morning ritual, it actually, with everything that you said, my morning ritual is totally all of those things. One problem, though, is I have a hard time doing it every single morning. And I realize that it seriously changes my day. If I do my morning ritual, I have like just an outstanding day. I'm full of so much energy. But if I don't do it, then I end up like, I don't know. I just don't have like my full mental capacity. I just don't feel completely fulfilled the entire day. And so this was just kind of, I think this was funny. This was just kind of a reminder to be like, hey, no, seriously, do your morning ritual every single day. It'll be so much better. So just thank you so much for that. I can't wait. I'm so excited for the challenge. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, Sarah, you rock. I love your energy. I can already feel you on the challenge, and everybody can't stop acknowledging you guys. Let's acknowledge Sarah one more time. It's Sarah.
Good
morning, everyone. Jackie and I Inspire. Thank you so much, Hal. I thought this talk was perfect. morning routine about like 2 months ago. I started waking up earlier, going to the gym, and I think this is great to hear more of like what I should be doing. I have a quick question. Is there one that you found that if you start with, you're more successful? I know you do all of them, but is there one that you predominantly start with your day with that you found to be most effective?
So, well, here's it's a great question. And what I tell people usually, like if I give a speech around the Miracle Morning at an event, I say, look, don't wait until you have all the savers figured out and, you've like finished the book or whatever to start your Miracle Morning. And I usually say that a lot of people start their Miracle Morning by reading the Miracle Morning, right? Meaning the R in savers is what they like. They're like, well, I wake up, the first Miracle Morning, I just committed to wake up 30 minutes earlier than I normally would, or 60 minutes if you want. But 30 minutes is usually where I tell people to start, and just wake up 30 minutes earlier and then and do some reading. Read, and again, if you haven't read the Miracle Morning, of course, I think that the best way to do it is to read the book, or you can split that up and do like 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of exercise. And part of the, the Miracle Morning that I talk about in the book is it's customizable. Like you can make it an hour long, you can make it half an hour. I even teach a 6-minute version where on days where you're really rushed, you could do a 6-minute Miracle Morning. So I don't think there's a wrong or a right answer. What I would say is whichever is the easiest of the savers for you to do, whichever is the most exciting and the easiest and there's the least resistance, that's where I would start. If you love, if meditation is super easy for you, great. If you're really excited to try, morning exercise or affirmation or whatever, like whatever is most compelling for you to do, that's where I would start.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hal. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Jackie and I inspire.
Jackie, yes, you do inspire, and that was a great, great question. Thank you, Hal, for answering that. I just want to read out 2 comments we got here. Itatiaya Danielle says, Hal Elrod is my new hero, and she loves you. And and Emily says, wow, thank you. My first iInspire morning, and wow, she's already started her own 30-day challenge, and she's 100% joining the challenge too. She says, thank you. Get in maybe one more we didn't give it up for Jackie. Let's give it up for Jackie first of all, you guys. I love acknowledgments and I won't give up on them. It's so important to acknowledge you guys. Who wants to share next?
Hi, good morning. Funny thing is that I used to say I'm not a morning person, and then you said something that I say all the time, and that's be, do, have. So I started getting up in the morning, even when I didn't want to, and now I become a morning person, and I really, really like it. So thank you. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Great share. Thank you. And that's what I always say. If you're not born a morning person or not, I always say if you don't wake up early, well then, yeah, of course you're not a morning person. If you don't run, you're not a runner. If you don't tell people you love them, you know what I mean? Like it's whatever we do or don't do, that's who we become. So really, really great share. Thank you.
Love it, Maribel. And I can relate. I wasn't a morning person either. And then mornings became my favorite thing ever. Let's give it up for Maribel for that accomplishment. Incredible winners we have here in the community. All right. One more short, quick share.
I inspire. I started doing the the Miracle Morning for my birthday. I gave it to myself as a gift. And then a couple months back in April, I had a death in the family, and I kind of quit doing everything. And my cynicism and the thoughts that were coming back in my head were just, it was a total shift. And so I'm glad this call's on, and I'm going to get back on board.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing and stepping up, and I'm so excited to have you challenge yourself with all of us. Let's give it up for Tina.
Yay, Tina!
All right, guys. Whoever didn't get a chance to share, don't worry. Hop onto our iInspire Morning Calls Facebook group. iInspire is one word, iInspire Morning Calls. Share over there. Tell us what you thought or post your excitement. And I'll try to get Hal to hop on at some point. Just check it out. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to Hal Elrod again. And let's give a big cheer this time for you, for stepping up, for starting your morning here on iInspire with us, for being on this call, and for wanting to make a difference in your life and create more miracles in your morning. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you for calling into another iInspire morning call. We're here every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time and 7 a.m. Pacific. Have an incredible day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
You gotta come moving and you la la la, babe. You gotta